In this lesson, you're going to learn how to become a money magnet. You're going to learn how to activate the law of attraction and create a magnetic force around you that attracts people, ideas, and circumstances into your life that will help you to earn more money and eventually all the money you want. The starting point of all riches is the development of what Napoleon Hill called a prosperity consciousness. You must become a financial success in your thinking long before you achieve it in your reality. Both poverty and riches are the result of a state of mind. The most important step you take on the road to wealth and financial independence is the decision to change your thinking and to impress into your mind an unshakable belief that you can and will achieve your financial goals. This must happen before anything else happens. When I was growing up, I was fascinated by stories of successful men and women and how they made and lost their fortunes and then made them over again. I read about the importance of a prosperity consciousness several times, but I never fully understood what it meant until a few years ago. Then, suddenly it hit me, and I've never been quite the same since. Every aspect of my life improved dramatically, especially in the area of accumulating wealth, when I finally understood what was meant by the words prosperity consciousness. You're about to learn some of the most exciting principles ever discovered by mankind in the search for the secret of the ages, the secrets of health, happiness, and great personal wealth. Once you understand these key principles or laws, everything your mind can conceive and believe will become possible for you. There will be no limitations except the ones you accept in your own mind. How you use your mind determines everything that you are or ever will be. Put another way, you are merely a mind with a body that you use to carry it around. Everything in the man-made world began with an idea. Everything you see around you is simply an expression of thought. Your entire life is an expression of your own thinking. And since the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life, if you improve the quality of your thinking, you must inevitably improve the quality of your life, especially your financial life. When you begin to think about yourself as capable of achieving all your financial and personal goals, and constantly seek ways to make them into realities, your whole attitude toward yourself and your possibilities will change for the better. The law of expectation says that whatever you expect with confidence, positive or negative, becomes your reality. If you confidently expect to succeed and hold to that belief, and if you act as if your success was inevitable, you will eventually achieve that success. If you confidently expect to learn something from every experience, you will become wiser and smarter from every setback or difficulty. If you confidently expect to become wealthy as a result of applying your talents and abilities to your opportunities, and you maintain that attitude of confident expectations long enough, it will become your reality. An attitude of positive expectations will give you a positive, optimistic, cheerful attitude that will attract helpful people into your life and will cause things to happen exactly the way you expected them to happen. Successful people expect to succeed in advance. They expect to be popular and liked by others in advance. They expect to learn and grow from every experience in advance. And the wonderful truth about your expectations is that they are completely under your control. You decide for yourself what they are going to be. You manufacture your expectations by the way you think things are going to turn out. Always expect the best, and you'll seldom be disappointed. One of the most powerful principles in the universe is the law of attraction. The law of attraction says that you are a living magnet. This law says that your thoughts create a force field of energy that radiates out from you and attracts back into your life people and circumstances in harmony with those thoughts. Every thought you have is emotionalized in one way or another, positive or negative. Like iron filings to a magnet, whether you have thoughts of desire or thoughts of fear, you attract people, circumstances, and events into your life that are in harmony with those thoughts. This is perhaps the most important of all mental laws in explaining success and failure, good luck and bad luck. It says that if you have a very clear picture in your mind of your desired goal, and you can hold that idea in your mind on a continuing basis, you will inevitably attract into your life the resources that you need in order to achieve it. People who have become wealthy or successful have become wealthy and successful as a result of holding the idea of wealth and success in their minds long enough and hard enough until they drew into their lives the resources they needed to accomplish it. Your main job is to keep your mind fixed on what you really want, and keep your mind off of the things you don't want until your true desires begin to materialize in the world around you. Now, the law of correspondence is also very powerful. This law says, as within, so without. This law explains that the outer world is a mirror that reflects back to you what is going on your inner world. The law of correspondence says that everything that happens outside of you corresponds to something that is going on inside of you. This is true on both a conscious and unconscious level. Nothing can either come into your life or stay in your life unless it finds something in your own thinking that corresponds to it. Whatever you can hold in your mind on a continuing basis, you can have. If you consciously believe that you have the ability to achieve a particular goal, and you can hold a clear picture of that goal in your mind long enough, eventually your outer world will correspond with that picture. Your ability to create and hold on to that mental picture is the true test of whether you really want the goal and that you believe it is possible for you. There are 3 areas where you see this law of correspondence demonstrated continually: in the faces of others, in your relationships, and in your wealth. Your outer world of experiences with others will correspond exactly to your own attitude. You will always see your attitude reflected back to you in the faces and behaviors of the people around you. If you have a positive, optimistic attitude, people will respond to you in a positive and cheerful way almost instantly, even before you open your mouth. Your relationships, on the other hand, will mirror back to you exactly the kind of a person you are inside. When you feel happy, kind, and loving, your relationships will be happy, harmonious, and loving as well. But if you become angry, impatient, or fearful for any reason, consciously or unconsciously, you will immediately see this reflected in your relationships, especially at home and at work. The third area where the law of correspondence manifests itself is with regard to your wealth. Your external world of wealth and financial accomplishment will be a mirror image of your inner world of preparation for financial success. The more you feed your mind with thoughts, words, pictures, images, and goals of making and accumulating money, the more rapidly these will appear in the world around you. Now, the laws of expectation, attraction, and correspondence are neutral. These laws can work for you or against you, depending on the thoughts you choose to think. These laws will make you happy or unhappy, healthy or unhealthy, rich or poor. They will help you or hurt, depending on your use of them. The only part of the mental equation that you can control is the thoughts that you choose to think. When you discipline yourself to keep your conscious thoughts on the things you want and on your images of wealth and affluence, these laws will eventually shape your external world of reality to reflect them in every detail. If you think rich long enough, you will eventually become rich. One of the most important principles taught in the New Testament is the law of sowing and reaping. This law says, "Whatsoever a man soweth, that also shall he reap." To put it another way, whatever you put in, you get out. Some people feel that this is not fair, but this is because they do not understand the true meaning of the statement. In the modern world, you've heard it said that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Why should this happen? The reason is simple. Based on the laws of correspondence, attraction, and expectations, and the fact that all causation is mental, People who become and remain wealthy deliberately cultivate and maintain a wealthy mindset, a million-dollar mind. They sow good thoughts, and they reap a good life. And the more they think in terms of wealth creation and prosperity, the more money they make, and the richer they become. Meanwhile, people who continually worry about money create a negative force field of mental energy around them that drives money away from them and increases their financial problems. They end up earning far less than they desire or less than they're capable of, and are often overwhelmed by bills and debts. They reap what they sow. They become what they think about. Some people fill their minds with thoughts of scarcity, lack, poverty, and being unable to afford the good things of life. They think continually about how much everything costs and how little money they have. They think and worry more about failure than success. As a result, they develop and maintain a poverty consciousness. They sow thoughts of lack, and they reap lives of financial failure. So, what do rich people think about most of the time, and what did they think about long before they became rich? Based on thousands of interviews, we find that rich people fill their minds with thoughts, words, pictures, and images of wealth, affluence, success, productivity, and solutions to problems in the marketplace. They read books and magazines that describe other wealthy people and illustrate the rewards of wealth creation. They think in terms of beautiful homes, cars, clothes, and vacations. They continually expect to enjoy these beautiful things as a result of their efforts. One of the rules for getting rich is that if you want to be successful, find out what people who don't get ahead think and refuse to think in that way. Instead, find out how wealthy people think. Find out what they read. Find out how they spend their time. Find out what they talk about and think about and write about, and then do the same things that wealthy people do. Sow only the seeds in your mental garden that you want to see grow in the world around you. A key principle that explains how people get rich starting from nothing is called the law of accumulation. This law says that everything great and worthwhile in human life is an accumulation of hundreds, if not thousands, of tiny efforts and sacrifices that few people ever see or appreciate. This law explains that great success seldom comes overnight or as the result of a single experience or breakthrough. Instead, enduring success gathers and accumulates over time. You have to put in countless tiny efforts that nobody sees or appreciates before you achieve anything worthwhile. In some ways, financial success grows like a snowball. A snowball starts very small, but as it rolls forward, it grows and accumulates as it adds millions of tiny snowflakes to its mass. Soon, it becomes unstoppable and sweeps everything before it. There are three areas where the law of accumulation is important to financial success: knowledge, money, and experience. These are discussed repeatedly in this program because they're so important. First, knowledge is power and is a key factor in giving you the leverage you need to multiply yourself times your opportunities. Your body of knowledge is a result of hundreds, perhaps thousands of small pieces of information that you have gathered and accumulated over time. Any person with a large knowledge base has invested thousands of hours building that mental library, one idea at a time. As the cumulative result of those years of study and growth, the individual becomes an expert in a field who can command huge fees and income in comparison with someone who has not done the same amount of work and preparation. This is the primary reason why the top 20% in any field earn 80% of the money in that field. They know more than their competitors and therefore command vastly higher payment for their services. Another area where the law of accumulation is vital to your success is with regard to money. Every large fortune is an accumulation of hundreds and thousands of small amounts of money. Riches seldom start with great financial breakthroughs or jackpots, even though that's what many people believe and strive for in their 20s and 30s. Instead, riches and wealth grow and accumulate slowly at first, one step at a time, and go only to those special people who demonstrate an ability to earn the money and then hold on to it. The place to start on your road to wealth is right where you are, right now. If you cannot discipline yourself to practice frugality and begin saving your money in your current circumstances, you cannot expect to develop these qualities later on. If you were looking for a simple formula for financial success, it would be contained in the 5 words: spend less than you earn. The place to start is for you to take any amount of money that you can right now, open a special bank account for financial independence, and begin to save. When you save money, you set up a force field of energy around that money that begins to attract more and more money into your life. As you add these additional amounts to your wealth account, you create an even greater magnetic force that attracts even more money into your life. Some years ago, I started a new business. I made every conceivable mistake that a new entrepreneur can make, and I lost all my money. As a result, to survive financially, we had to sell our house to raise cash. At this point, my wife put her foot down. She decided that she was tired of worrying about money all the time. She insisted on taking $10,000 out of the proceeds of the house sale and putting it into a separate bank account where I couldn't get my hands on it. Because she was so adamant, I agreed and allowed her to do it. And you know what happened? From the time she put that money into a separate bank account, we were never out of money again. No matter what happened in the following months and years with the economy and the business going up and down, enough money continued to materialize so that we never had to touch the special savings account. In a couple of years, we were out of debt and able to buy a beautiful new home in one of the best neighborhoods in the city. I've spoken to many successful people over the years, and they've told me the same story. They said as soon as they started to save their money and put it aside, the money seemed to attract more money and opportunities into their lives. As their savings grew, they began to attract people and information that enabled them to invest their funds intelligently, which caused their investments to grow more rapidly. Probably the main reason why most people retire poor is that they never put the initial savings aside to start with. It takes money to make money. To go on, the law of accumulation is vital to success in the area of experience. Successful people in any field are almost invariably those who have far more experience in that field than the average person. And there is nothing that replaces experience. Whether it is in business or entrepreneurship or management or selling or investing or speaking or writing or anything else, experience is what makes the critical difference. There are many studies and opinions on the subject of mastery. The consensus of the experts is that the foundation of mastery in any field is based on pattern recognition. This is the ability of the individual to connect the dots when confronted with a situation that bears a resemblance to a previous situation. The more different situations that a person has experienced, the more patterns he has recorded, and the faster he can make an informed decision when something new or different occurs. This quality of pattern recognition applies to every field, from law and medicine to negotiating, selling, and entrepreneurship. Experts agree that you require 5 to 7 years and 10,000 hours of experience to master your craft, whatever it is. And the only way to acquire this experience is to be willing to fail, to use the trial and error method, sometimes called the trial and success method, and then learn from every experience. The great enemy of mastery and of the big rewards that go along with being the best in your field is the comfort zone. Most people are so comfortable at a lower level of performance and accomplishment that the very thought of trying something new and different causes them extreme anxiety. Many people do not take the risks that are necessary to move out of their comfort zones because they're afraid that they will fail. But the fact is that until you move out of your comfort zone and make the mistakes that give you the experience you need to succeed, it is not possible for you to grow and become capable of earning the kind of money you desire. To put it another way, you learn how to succeed only by failing. You become successful only by taking risks where there's no guarantee of success. If you do not fail regularly, you can never succeed greatly. Here's the key to the law of accumulation. Everything counts. Everything that you do or fail to do counts in some way. Once you set a goal for yourself, everything you do helps or hurts. Nothing is neutral. The biggest mistake that people make is they think that something counts only if they decide that it counts or that they are going to count it. But the rule is that if it doesn't help, it hurts. If it's not adding up, it's probably taking away. When you set a goal to become wealthy, you place yourself under a new set of rules, and everything from that day forward counts in some way. When you read a book, listen to an audio program, take an additional seminar or course to upgrade your money-making abilities, go to bed early and get up early, it all counts. When you plan each day in advance and work on your most important tasks before you do anything else, it all counts. Every positive, helpful action is going on the plus side of your ledger. If you spend your evenings watching television, socializing with your friends, killing time on low-value, no-value activities, it all counts as well, and it's going on the negative side of the ledger. Just as a successful company has a positive balance sheet, you have a balance sheet as well. You create a great life for yourself when you accumulate far more points on the credit side than on the debit side. And just as in financial accounting, everything counts. You will always act in a manner on the outside consistent with your true beliefs on the inside. When you have convinced yourself totally that you are a successful person just waiting for a place to happen, you will become completely different from a person who still doubts his ability to succeed. When you develop a prosperity consciousness, you will become convinced that there is a universal plan to make you successful, and that everything that happens to you is a part of the plan. You will start to see good things in every setback or difficulty. You will derive valuable lessons from every temporary failure or problem. Like Henry Ford, you will confidently say, "Failure is merely an opportunity to more intelligently begin again." You will develop a consciousness where you absolutely believe that your financial success is inevitable, and it will be. When you change your beliefs, you will make the great leap from positive thinking to positive knowing. Positive thinking can sometimes be wishing or hoping, a cover-up for fear and doubt. But positive knowing occurs when you have reached the state of belief where you are absolutely confident that no matter what, you will be successful. From this point on, you become unstoppable. A key personality quality that underlies all great success is willpower. Willpower is essential to the accomplishment of anything worthwhile. Willpower is based on confidence. It's based on conviction. It's based on faith. It's based on your belief in your ability to triumph over all obstacles. And, like all qualities, you can develop willpower by practicing it whenever willpower is called for. You can develop greater willpower and strength of character by persisting whenever you feel like quitting. You develop greater willpower by disciplining yourself to work toward your most important goals every day, even when there are 1,000 other things you could be doing. You develop willpower by reading the biographies of successful people whose victories were the result of the triumph of willpower. The more ideas and information you feed into your mind that are consistent with success, the more likely it is that you will develop the willpower you need to push you over the obstacles and through the difficulties that you'll have to face on the road to your success. You've heard it said that many are called, but few are chosen. Everyone starts off in life with dreams, hopes, and fantasies of somehow becoming wealthy. Today, we in the United States live in the most affluent country at perhaps the best time in all of human history. It's never been more possible for more people to achieve their financial goals, irrespective of the current financial situation, than it is today. Nonetheless, the fact is that success is rare. Only 1 person in 100 becomes wealthy in the course of their lifetime. Only 5% achieve financial independence, in that they have enough money to support their lifestyles without ever having to work again. This means that the odds against you ending your financial life successfully are 19 to 1. The fact is that the only way that you are going to achieve your financial goals is when you quit fooling around and really get serious. Financial success cannot be something you're going to achieve someday when everything is just right. The situation will never be just right. There will always be reasons to procrastinate, but the stakes are too high. You must get serious, and you must get serious today. Remember, everything counts. Each time I meet someone who, after drifting financially for many years, had become successful and made a lot of money, I ask, "What was the turning point for you?" They almost invariably give me a funny look and say, "Well, I finally decided to get serious." Sometimes they became angry, either at themselves or at seeing someone else who they felt was less talented than they were, who was doing better than they were. Sometimes they saw an opportunity and decided to go for it. In every case, to break out of their comfort zones, they had to commit themselves and take a risk. To break out of the pack, you'll have to do the same. One of Murphy's laws is, before you do anything, you have to do something else first. Because success is so rare, there are many principles you must learn if you want to achieve it and keep it. But the one thing you have to do first is to take complete control of yourself and your life. Becoming a money magnet requires the development of self-mastery, self-control, and self-discipline. Taking charge of yourself, your appetites, and your behaviors is essential for anyone who wants to achieve greatly. And control over your thoughts is the hardest exercise in self-mastery that you will ever engage in. Here is an exercise for you. Answer the question, what are your 3 most important goals in life right now? You should be able to write the answers to this quick list in about 30 seconds. Here's the test. Resolve to think and talk about only these 3 goals and how you might attain them for the next 24 hours. Refuse to think or talk about things you don't want. Keep bringing your mind back to your goals whenever it starts to drift. This exercise, by the way, will be very revealing. Far from keeping your mind on what you want and off of what you don't want for 24 hours, you'll not be able to do it for 24 minutes. This exercise will demonstrate to you how hard it is to control your thinking and keep it focused. It will show you what you are really made of. It will make it clear to you why so few people succeed or fulfill their potential at anything. You will find, at least initially, that keeping your mind on what you want is like trying to control a car on a winding road with no steering wheel. The good news is that focus and concentration are learnable skills. They are habits you can develop with willpower and practice, and they enable you to develop even greater willpower in the future. Self-mastery is hard at first, but with practice you can reach the point where you can keep your thinking on your goals and desires most of the time. Once you've taken control of your thinking, you can then take control of your actions. If you can master yourself and discipline yourself to pay the price of success in advance, you must eventually succeed. As Zig Ziglar says, if you will be hard on yourself, life will be easy on you. But if you insist on being easy on yourself, life is going to be very hard on you. Everything counts. You must resolve here and now to fill your mind only with thoughts consistent with your desires and simultaneously keep your mind off of your doubts and fears. Financial success begins with an intense desire for wealth, not a lukewarm desire, but a burning, all-consuming desire to become a millionaire. This intensity of emotion, commitment, and determination is absolutely essential for you to keep driving forward in the face of the unending adversity and disappointment that will confront you and attack you from all sides when you resolve to become wealthy. There's a Japanese proverb: making money is like digging with a pin. Losing money is like pouring water on the sand. The fact is that we live in an increasingly competitive world, full of people who are absolutely determined to make as much money as they possibly can. These people will do anything to take away our customers, to overcharge us and underdeliver, and will even engage in deceit, embezzlement, fraud, shoddy dealing, cheating, and incompetence that you cannot even imagine at the outset. To become wealthy, you must become as sharp as a fox, continually alert and aware of the possibility that, as Murphy's Law states, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You will experience never-ending reversals of fortune and unexpected setbacks. Murphy's second law says, of all the things that can go wrong, it will always be the worst possible thing at the worst possible time and cost the greatest amount of money that will go wrong. The financier Bernard Baruch began his career as a messenger boy on Wall Street when he was 15 years old. His starting salary was $3.50 per week. By practicing some of the principles we are discussing here, especially by becoming an expert in the field of investing, he eventually became one of the wealthiest men in the country and an advisor to 6 presidents, including Franklin D. Roosevelt. Baruch's approach to value and investing was simple and direct. He once said, "The first requisite for making a lot of money is to want to make a lot of money." The first requirement was to make a clear decision, and then to back that decision with will and determination. An enormous number of people have never sat down and thought through whether they want to make a lot of money. They may wish and hope and pray about making a lot of money, but they've never decided to do so. The truth is that you must really, really want it if you're going to achieve it, if you're going to become a money magnet. In the next lesson, you're going to learn the power of visualization and how you can use it to attract into your life everything that you want, including all the money that you want.